home late, wearing slightly baggy jeans and an oversized hoodie on a cold winter night. The heat from disappointment makes it easy to neglect the wind chill factor. The straps on his backpack are in much need of reinforcement. He is sometimes amazed how after packing in his concerns that he still has room for his books. There is a half mile that remains as he advances towards his destination, which rests at the intersection of solipsism and masochism. He does not live here by choice, but it is all that he can afford. The weight of the contents of his backpack causes his straps to snap. He almost wants to do the same. He intended to tally another conscious memory of the sun chasing the moon away from the skyline, but has become too fatigued to read. His eyes drag across the words that there lay friction in each paragraph. Pages become as heavy as slabs of granite. He looks at his phone. There are no new messages. Red light emitting dials from his biological clock continue to flicker. 12 a.m. He curls up next to the fire in his belly to stay warm and lays his head to rest in the lasting impressions that the universe has made on his mind, finding that the only things that materialize there are the broken dreams that weave themselves into the form of nightmares too large to be contained in dream catchers, extending beyond rapid eye movement, encroaching upon conscious awareness. There is only one solution to the system of cold equations, even when that system is inconsistent. The buzzing of the alarm clock across the room foreshadows how the day will close. He hits the snooze button and goes back to bed to later be greeted by the sun, leaving the zenith in the westerly direction as it prepares for its nightly dive into the Pacific Ocean. The clock continues to flicker. 12 a.m. He wears his beanie like a crown of thorns, bearing the sins of his parents as if they seek rectification through him, and like a stowaway aboard an emergency dispatch ship on its course to the frontier planet Woden, he is jettisoned through the celestial sphere into deep hyperspace. His outstretched lips just barely miss the chance to kiss heaven by the width of the stack of pages he wished the ink never touched. Faint pulses of red light tap the insides of his retinas during his descent. He seeks to create a binary star with the one that held the wishes of his childhood. Landing into familiar terrain on the third day, he yells out his birth name in vain from the impact of the collision between himself and the earth. It nearly broke him, but he has a body like glue, so he holds it together, at least on the outside. He looks up, wondering where the time went, and is greeted by the sun, leaving the zenith in the westerly direction as it prepares for its nightly dive into the Pacific Ocean. The clock continues to flicker. 12 a.m. He examines his post-collision body and notices the inspiration dripping down his arms. Keep your distance now. He is reminded why he never indulges his feelings in the company of others, but instead seeks refuge in his penmanship and sets sail. He has served over 4 years at sea, so he does not get motion sickness, but instead is sick of going through the motions. He has been searching for the lower bound of your metric space for quite some time, for some arbitrary value of you. He just wants to love and be loved in return instead of being turned away or turned down. He wants to know what it's like to float by comfortably on a steady paycheck without worry, instead of constantly hanging from eviction notices and pink slips. He wants his mind to stop playing tricks on him. The buzzing of the alarm clock tiptoes its way through silence as he reaches for his case of the Mondays at his bedside. He notices his phone before his hand gets the chance to land. There are 12 new messages. He walks out the front door, wearing his beanie like a crown of diamonds, and follows the gradient of the sky in the direction of increasing intensity due east, and greets the sun for what feels like the first time in months. He fills his lungs with air, and this laughter bursts from his soul. He knows he is going to be okay. His mind's eye glances over at his biological clock. It is now 12:01 a.m. The LEDs have stopped flickering.